Hey, folks! Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a good start to the week. I know a couple people aren't that I've talked to today, and it's only Monday. No, it's Tuesday. Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday. I'm all messed up. So hopefully, you're having a good Tuesday. Wow, that was messed up. Yeah, you know how I tell the days? It's by which rink I go to or what I'm doing for work. And so, yeah, tonight I go to a rink for roller hockey playoffs. So that's how I was like, oh yeah, it is Tuesday because I got roller hockey playoffs tonight. Okay. Well, anyway, so happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. And I wanted to come on today. As you can see, I need some therapy. I need some online virtual therapy today, as I don't even know what day it is. But I pulled the plug on a project yesterday, and it, it it's a project that I've worked on a couple times in a couple different games, and it's never gone well, meaning that I've never really come anywhere close to what I was looking to achieve. And last night I pulled it out and it wasn't going well. And I ended up just stimulating the rest of the game. And when I got done, I just went like this. I says, I think I'm done with this project. Okay. And I feel guilty about that. I feel guilty that I quit a project that, and I put the cards away. And yeah, I don't like quitting. I don't like quitting. I don't like failing. I don't like giving up. But we've talked many times on the show that there's there's nothing that's going to make us play these games. There's nobody sitting over saying you have to do this. We don't have to do this. It's about having fun. And if you're not having fun, then you don't play. But there's still a little part of me. It's like, well, was it not fun just because it wasn't going my way? And was that the whole idea behind the product, was to have it go my way? Well, I think that might be part of it. But if it's really not going your way and it's really not any fun, um, then that's when you got to decide what do you want to do. And so what it was, I'll tell you what the project was. It was the 1986 Roger Clemens replay. So I was playing Clemens, just a Clemens games with the Red Sox, and I did that in '86. I mean, yeah, then of course I did it in '86. I did it with Strat PC baseball, and it was a miserable failure. Okay, the Red Sox finished, what was it, like 20 or 22 games out of first place. Clemens was miserable compared to his real life stats. Um, and so, but I did it in Strat PC. I had started it a couple years ago in Payoff Pitch. I have Payoff Pitch, and I was doing the same thing, and it wasn't going that well. And so I put it off to the side. And then I decided to get the 86 cards because I just printed out a couple of teams. And I was like, no, let me get the 86 cards. Joe had a huge sale on the 1986 Payoff Pitch card. So I picked those up, the printed ones. And so now I have the nice printed cards for Payoff Pitch. And I started that a few months ago, and it's just been sitting over here in Studio A, taking up some space, the whole American League, because that's, who the Red Sox would play. And I hadn't played it in a while, and I says, let me go back to that because I was playing a ton of Apple football. I want to play a couple of different things. I don't want to be stuck with all the Apple stuff, even though I'm enjoying it and you play what you enjoy. I get it. But I said, let me go back to this project here. I says, I don't know how many games he played that year, but I'm, 7, 8, 9 games into this. Let me chip away at this and play another game. Now, I hadn't played Payoff Pitch in a little while, so I was kind of rusty with it. And it's always been one of those games that sometimes I really enjoy it, and sometimes I just fight with it because there's so many different ways to do base running. You get your basic base running, and then you got your fast action cards and your advanced. As soon as I come up with a way to do base running and Payoff Pitch, I find something that could be a little bit better. So, for example, like last night, what I do is in the option B of basic base running is that if it's a patient or a what's the other or in play, you flip a fast action card, just go with that. Okay. Anything from the wheelhouse to 2 outs is an automatic 2 bases because you get a better pitch. Tough and one other one, I forget what the other one is. Then it's just the 1 base. And I was playing that, and I was pretty good. getting pretty good at that. Then I was reading in the rules last night that, well, here's an advanced way of playing that it's not automatically 2 bases on anybody that's 5 or less on speed. So if you want to try for the base, even though according to the basic rules, it's automatic 2, I think that's kind of weird. I mean, your faster runner should get the automatic 2 with 2 outs, or if it's a wheelhouse hit. But is every hit going to be that good enough for even the slowest runners? I mean, could a guy like me, score from second on a single, or get to third on a single from first? And so I was looking at the advanced rules about it. I said, oh, okay, well, if he's this, roll the dice and check it. And so I was adding more complexity to the game. So I was getting a little frustrated with that because I'm going back and forth. It's like, do I want an automatic 2 bases every time? Is that realistic? Or do I want to roll for it? So I was kind of fighting the game a little bit as I do. And so at the same time, I'm playing the Twins, and Clemens gives up 5 runs in the first inning. And he was, instead of starting the season, whatever it was, 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, he's like 500. And so for the third time I've tried this project, Clemens is failing miserably for me. And it hasn't been fun. I mean, if he was, 7-1, 7-2, that's fine. But when you're 4-4 or 6-4 instead of being 10-0, he's failing miserably. And, I wanted to have a fun Roger Clemens replay with his best season. And for the third time, it's not happening. And so last night, I took him out after 2.2 innings, 2.1 and 2.2 innings. And I think he had given up 7, 8, or 9 runs, whatever it is. He was getting destroyed. And he was already fatigued. According to the payoff pitch rules, he was fatigued. And the only reason I kept going is because the Sox actually scored like 4 or 5 runs in the second. So now the game was close. So I'm like, okay, but the game's kind of close. So well, let's play it out. And I played another inning, and he got racked again. And I know what happens. But this project was just going down the tubes. And it wasn't necessarily payoff pitch, because this same thing happened when I played Strat on the PC. So I'm sitting here yesterday and I'm playing and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have to take Clemens out in the second. Oh, no, in the third. It was the third inning. I was like, I have to take him out. He's getting destroyed because he's fatigued. He just gave up another home run. He's getting his ass handed to him. And so I took him out and I just simmed the game here in Digital Diamond because I was using Digital Diamond to keep the stats. And what was neat about it is that I was playing, say payoff pitch every Clemens game. So whatever Clemens stats was, that was all payoff pitch. I want to see what I could do. And everything else was simulated. So I just simulated the rest of the game because I figured he's out of the game. I don't care what the team does the rest of the way because I'm just here to do Clemens. And as I'm kind of putting the game away, I just was like, this is not fun. It's not fun. There's so many other things I would rather do than to continue this project where it's already off the rails. He is getting hammered. His ERA is through the roof. His record is terrible. And it just, again, not that I was expecting him to go undefeated in that season, but I sure as heck was expecting a lot more from what I'm getting. And it's the second game that this has happened in. And it's the second time in payoff pitch that I tried this project. And I just said, something? I was getting a little frustrated with payoff pitch because I hadn't decided what I want to do with base running. And I feel, as much as I like payoff pitch, I feel the base running is way too hard in payoff pitch. If you're not a 6 or a 7 runner, don't bother trying for the extra base. If you're a 5 runner, when you roll the dice, the 2d6, you have to roll 5 or less to get the base. It's with 2 outs, you're a 5 runner, then you don't get the extra base because there's too much of a chance of getting thrown out. So as much as I like payoff pitch, I feel and I've said this before, it's very difficult to run and steal and payoff pitch. Whereas season ticket, I feel it's a lot easier to run and steal. And so I just put the game away. I put it away, and then I'm looking over here on the table where the cards are, and I said, something? I'm done with this project. So I took the cards and just put them away. So now I got more space on my table over here. And I just have very mixed emotions about quitting a project because I feel guilty that I'm quitting it because it wasn't going my way. And am I just being a poor sport about it? Or is it just not fun? And the idea is I want to have fun, and I would have way more fun if I pulled out, shootout hockey or hockey bones or APA football or, you name the game. I could pull out any other game and just go and have some fun with it and not frustrate myself with this 86 Clemens replay, which has just been, oh my gosh. And we talk a little bit about that on the show. It's like, project guilt, and you continue on in the whole bit. And, I mean, if you play a couple games and then you quit and you're always doing that, then it's like, yeah, that's a little weird. But I was a good 9 or 10 games into this, and it's my second or third try at this particular project, and all three have just gone sour. And so if I did anything with 86 now, I might play the playoffs of the World Series or something. But yeah, I had to put this one away. And so I kind of need a little bit of therapy here from you guys. And I need to talk this out. Okay. Cause I don't like giving up on things. You know what I mean? I just don't, and I'm a man of 1,000 projects. I mean, I'm just one of those guys that has a 1,000 projects going on at once. And it's just what I enjoy doing is bouncing around from this to that and pulling out a season or something and playing it. That's just what I enjoy. And this one here, it had to go. I think it was time. It had to go. So I need you guys to kind of walk me through this. Okay, I'm going to lay back on the couch, and I'm going to tell you the story here. And I need you guys. Okay, so what I need you guys to do is this. I need you guys to get your pen and paper and pretend like you're writing things down. Okay, that I'm talking about here, and then give me your analysis on this. Okay, you guys are going to be the therapist today, because there's some guilt with putting this away, and it's something I think that we've all encountered. We've all done something that either wasn't going well or just wasn't fun. But how long do you give it? I mean, if you give up too soon, then you'll be giving up on everything you do. So you got to give it a little bit of time. But if you give it the time and it's not fun, or it's not going the way you think it would, or whatever's going on with it, if you've given it some time and you're just like, if there's something else I would rather play, than to go back to this just for the sake of finishing this. Because I probably wouldn't even share the results with this because they're just going that bad. So anyway, I need to get some therapy here. So we have Rob here, as well as Jason. And Jason says, I never feel guilty for stopping anything that's just not working for me. We only have so much time. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, is that, I only have so much time to play these things. And I spent an hour last night going over, payoff pitch, and kind of, again, part of it was payoff pitch, me kind of hemming and hawing with the rules again. I had already decided how I was going to play the running game on the bases. And then I see the advanced chart, and I'm like, that makes more sense, is that 6s and 7s would get the 2 bases on 2 outs on a single, but the 5s and the 4s and the 3s, maybe it's not automatic, but they also made it really hard to get that base. And so now I'm double clutching, I'm double thinking. And so that was kind of interfering with things. But then when he just got destroyed in the second inning, I was just like, yeah, it's time. It's time. So again, I know you only have so much time to play games and you want to have some fun with it. And again, the fun I have with some games is just through the roof. And this product was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't not fun, but it wasn't extremely fun either. And so I just finally made an executive decision to put that away. Jeff comes by. He's at work and he won't be on for long, but you want to stop by and say hi? Yeah, thank you. Not all tabletop games are created equal. There might be a better option for this product. Well, that's what I thought, because I did it with Strat, and the Strat PC failed me miserably. And now the payoff pitch has failed me again. And I don't mean failing me, but I'm just, my expectations and what I thought I would be getting. I thought that Clemens would be riding high. And that's the other thing, it comes down to dice rolls. He's got tough all over his card, and I'm rolling wheelhouse and ballpark and defense. My dart is hitting everything but the dartboard here. And that's why he was getting lit up, because I was just the first guy. I think it was Kirby Puckett for the Twins. Opening batter, home run. I roll wheelhouse, home run. Opening batter. That's when I knew it wasn't going to go good. If I'd rolled a tough, it would have been a strikeout. But I roll wheelhouse, I roll low, it's a home run. I'm just like, here we go. Here we go. You know? And so Jeff says it can be frustrating when your team doesn't do well. Yeah, well, that's what it is, But again, am I wrong for quitting, And if it's not fun, where's the joy? Well, that's what it is, And Jason says that's the truth. But if we're only playing these, here's my dilemma. Again, I'm on the couch. I'm on the couch right now. I'm looking up at the ceiling. I got my hands like this, and I'm just talking to you guys. If we're only playing and if our team wins, then what's the sense of playing? If that we're just gonna make sure our team. And I'm not saying we're cheating or anything, but just if we're only here for our team to win, that's not what I play. I play to see what the results are gonna be when I'm playing these games, and I have a lot of fun doing that. But occasionally, when something goes sour and I'm expecting more out of it, it's just not fun. Again, if I take the 2007 Patriots and instead of going 17-0, I'm 3-6 out of the gate, that project's over. That's over. Because I mean, not that I'm expecting to win them all. I'd like to see if I could, but if I'm 3-6 out of the gate instead of 9-0, that's when it's like, wow, this is really just, I wanted to take a good team and mow some teams down and see how close to 17-0 I could get. Well, if I come out of the gate 3-6, that's not close. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now with this replay. I say, wow, instead of him coming out, whatever it was, 9-0, 10-0, 13-0, I forget how many games he won in a row. He's lucky to be 500 in some of these things. And it's not going my way. And Rob says, I totally get the not wanting to quit, but there's much to be gained from recognizing that continuing on just means delaying the inevitable. I think that's a good way of putting it. Because I could go to the next game and maybe it's okay, but it's kind of just like gnawing away at me. I think is what I'm getting at. So, I'm gonna even when I pulled this out last night or yesterday afternoon, I was just like, it just was gnawing away at me that I'm kind of playing it just for the sake of playing it, just to get it done, because the thing was, it was going so sour that I'm like, I wasn't having fun. And then when he gets lit up in 2 innings for 7 or 8 runs or whatever it is, it just, he couldn't get anybody out, and I'm like, okay, I get it, you have a bad game in the whole bit, but how many bad games am I going to roll for this guy? It just was not fun. And Jason says, I have literally dumped games into the garbage, so I don't suffer bad or sloppy games. Well, life is too short. I get it. I get it. But where's the line, Jason? Where's the line between me just not getting my way and just not having fun because of whatever reason? Okay. And I'm not saying the game's bad, because again, I've tried this in a couple of games. And I think Ron's even said that he's not carded. Clemens is not carded very well for what he did. So where is the line between, well, I did this to see what my results are going to be, and my results are not going to be good. So do I stick it out and just say, well, let me get through it, and here's my results? Or am I doing this to try to enjoy it, to see how good he can do, not how bad he can do, but how good he can do? And that's why it's just not fun. It's not anywhere near what I was. I mean, if he was, 7-2 or 9-2, and I was like, well, he lost a couple of games, just kind of how it goes, but he's still doing a good job mowing people down, then maybe that's different. But when he's 500 or less, and especially with the Strat one there, I kind of, even with the Strat one, if I went back and saw some of the videos that I did of Clemens playing Strat here on the channel, I really wasn't having fun with it, because the Sox were 22 games out of first place in Strat. They won the division and went to the World Series. And in my replay in Strat, again, just playing the Clemens games and letting the computer sim the rest, they were in dead last in the East. What do you do? It's not fun. It's not what I was expecting, So, and I'm not saying I'm gonna get, I'm not blaming Payoff Pitch for this, because I've just had too much fun with Payoff Pitch to throw that, into the garbage per se. But it just makes, and what stinks about it is I really want to get back into some baseball, but it seems like I'm just kind of drawn to either app or a season ticket. And as much as I like payoff pitch and as many seasons I bought of that, it's kind of it is kind of an advanced game. It really is. Whereas Appa Basic is piece of cake, and season ticket I find that a nice balance between basic and advanced. Just you got to print out the teams, so but yeah, so it was just a frustrating thing. As Gus comes by, yep. And Jason says, if my advice, get out another baseball game you own and like and play a one-off of that same player or team. Remind yourself why you wanted to do this project. Well, why I wanted to do the project was let's see how Clemens can do. Can he win as many games? Can he get as many strikeouts? The other thing was home runs. How many home runs he's going to give up? Because you look at his payoff pitch guide, like, man, this guy's never going to give up a home run. And in my first playthrough, because I had the PDFs and I just printed out Clemens and a couple of teams. My first playthrough, he was giving up home runs left and right. And I'm like, wow, I'm surprised how easy it is for him to give up a home run. And then when I started this project here, wasn't so much the home runs. It was just like, wow, he's just getting beat up. I mean, with all the toughs on his card, and there's got to be 6 or 7 or 8 toughs out of the 11 rolls, and I'm just missing them. Seriously. I'm just missing them left and right, and I'm getting wheelhouse and defense, and I guess that's how the dice go. But if I was hitting toughs, even with the toughs, I'm rolling singles, and doubles. It's like, holy cow! Even when I roll on the tough category, I'm rolling so good for the batter that he's getting lit up. So again, am I just being sour grapes because I'm rolling bad for Clemens and he's getting beat up? Or is this just, well, if you're not having fun, you're not having fun no matter what the reason is. So I don't want to be the guy that quits projects just because my team loses a game. I don't want to be that guy and be that serious about it because I enjoy what I do. But there is a limit to what you can take. There really, really is. There's a limit to what you can take as far as, things going wrong for you, and the one thing I really like about the Apple football is that of course I got my favorite teams and the whole bit, my favorite players, but I'm enjoying just watching that play out, and it's not mattering to me who wins and loses. If a team I don't like wins, that's okay. And if the Patriots lose, that's okay. Because I'm really just kind of enjoying the football there. Whereas when I'm playing a certain player like Clemens here on the project, once in a while I'll do somebody in hockey, see how many points I can get them. It's a little bit more personal at that point because it's a player I really like and they're doing really bad. And that kind of bugs me where it's, when the team does bad, it doesn't hurt as much. At least I don't think so. Let's see here. Rob says, for long-term products, I think it's better to establish objective goals and subjective ones. Bruce says, as far as not going the way you wanted, I get the point. But by definition, trying to meet or beat Clemens' real season is who fun has been defined. Trying to meet or beat Clemens' real season is who fun has been defined. Yeah. Well, I know that's kind of pie in the sky trying to reach that, but you would think his card would be carded in a way that he could at least come close to that. And in 2 games now, it's not even close. So again, if it was just strat or just payoff pitch or just app or just something else, I could say, yeah, it's that game is got him carded wrong. But it's been 2 games now and he's getting shelled, and it's like, how did he do this in real life and then be carded in such a way that I can't achieve that? Or even close. Again, if I was even remotely close, I would be okay. And I'm not remotely close. And it just is not fun. Jeff comes back and says, maybe try playing a different team or a different season and start over. He says, basically, don't beat yourself up over it. If you give 100% and it's not working, it's the game, it's not you. Yeah. Yeah. And see, here's Patrick. See, now here's the problem. Now you're gonna want to make me go buy 86, right? Try the product with Appa Baseball. That's what I'm thinking, because and I really thought about it. Is trying to, but I'm just kind of sour on the project because I've done it in 2 games. Now, what if I spend the money on 86 Appa, and the same thing starts happening? Now I spent all this money on an Appa season that I'm just going to put on the shelf and not play a game because I'm going to be mad at it. As it is, I'm mad at 86 payoff pitch and I'm mad at 86 strat. I don't ever plan on touching them again for anything because I'm just flat out mad at it that it's just not going well. And again, is that the wrong attitude to have, or does it just come down to, like some of you guys are saying, if you're not happy and it's not enjoyable, don't play. Again, that's easy to say, but again, what if the next project I do is not going my way? Do I just quit that? Again, I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want to be the guy that says, well, it ain't going my way. I'm taking my ball and going home. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but neither do I want to be sitting here forcing myself to roll a game here on the table or play a game on the PC just to get through it, because I don't want to be that guy and quit. So again, I know there's a gray area between just flat out not having any fun and being a big, sourpuss and sour grapes about your product not going your way. I get there's a whole other gray area between that. It's because it's not that cut and dry. But I do. I feel guilty. I feel so guilty that I took this project and I'm done with it. And I think I sent Ron a message. I said, Ron, I said, I'm done with this. I says, Clement didn't even get out of the third inning. He just got hammered again, and it's just going off the rails. And I simmed the game. I didn't even finish the game. I just simmed it in Digital Diamond. I said, Digital Diamond, finish this game for me because I'm done. And that's how frustrated I was. And it's been a while since I've been frustrated here on the channel. And I just kind of gave up, But yeah, Patrick, I'd like to find a game. And Jeff says he agrees. No, don't do this. Don't make me buy another season. Come on. I just bought some seasons. I got an unboxing. Hey, I'm going to do tonight after work. So it'll probably be about 11:30 tonight, Boston time. I'm going to do my birthday unboxing from a gift certificate that Jucket gave me and a little bonus I got at work. So I took a splurge and bought some things from Appa, which, by the way, I ordered last Tuesday night at midnight and it arrived this morning. So it was basically Wednesday morning to Tuesday morning. I got when the order arrived. So in case anybody's wondering about Appa, again, it was probably stuff that was in stock. So they just grabbed it off the shelves and sent it away. So just so you know. And Jeff, Jason says, I don't care which team wins. I just want the experience to be accurate. And yeah, but I think but we also play these games to see what our results are going to be. And that's kind of what I'm wrestling with too. It's like I'm playing this to see what my result is going to be when I play this game. I want to see if it's going to be the same, if it's going to be different, if it's going to be way better, way worse. But I think when it becomes way worse, it especially if I'm playing the Spiders or if I'm playing the 76, Buccaneers and I get a win, I'm overjoyed. And if they lose, I don't care because they just lost. So there's no expectations at all. But when you're playing somebody good or a good team and that team is failing miserably, there's something about that it's not going well. And just you need to do better than that. You just need to do better to make it fun. Todd B comes by. He goes, look at it this way. Now you have time to enjoy the products you like Apple football. Yeah. I'm kind of, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's kind of cutting out something that you don't want to do. And I don't want to do this project anymore. I don't want to do it. And there's other things I can do and have fun with. But there's still the guilt that I have for quitting this project. And I have some terrific reasons why I should quit this project. And Todd just said it. It gives me a chance to play games that I really, really like. The products I do like. The box I'm going to open, tonight after work around 11:30 tonight is full of joy. Full of joy. I can tell you that right now. And that's the stuff that I want to do. I want to enjoy myself doing things, and I don't want to force myself to play something, So anyway, and Jay says, the line is a sense of accuracy. How does that happen to Clemens at all? Yeah, I think that's kind of where it is. Jeff comes by too. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, yeah, you're right. There's a line there. It's like, how is this happening to Clemens? Again, if it's a one-off game, if this was like the only game that's happened last night, geez, he didn't get out of the third. What? That's hilarious. Clemens didn't get out of the third inning, first time this season. Well, no, it's pretty bad. It's just bad how bad he's been going. And again, I'm rolling the dice, so it's on me. So I can't blame the computer like on Strat, because Strat, I was just kind of hitting the dice and following along on the computer. But here we are now, and I'm rolling dice, and he's getting hammered. And at first it was kind of fun, but now it's like, no, he's getting lit up like you read about. He really was. In fact, I had more fun. I don't know if anybody tuned in the other day when I was playing the Digital Diamond engine. So I fired up Digital Diamond. I got my 79 season, and I'm playing Pirates and Phillies. Playing Pirates and the Phillies. And the Phillies are out of it. The Pirates have clinched the division already. I'm already into September. And for some reason, the Phillies just destroyed the Pirates. Okay, they were up 11-1. And as bad as it was, and as you know, the Pirates are the best team there in that division, and the Phillies are crushing them. I took that as just it's one of those days. And so I was putting in crazy pinch hitters, guys that like had 3 at bats, and one guy gets a hit and an RBI. I think it was his first hit ever. I think he had 3 at bats that season, but he's sitting on the bench. I'm putting you in, and I did that with somebody else. Here's another guy. This guy's terrible. I put him in, and he, struck out or whatever he did. But it was fun just kind of going through the bench. And I put Dave Parker as a pitcher. And the game's like, he's not rated as a pitcher. I says, I don't care. It's 11-1 in the 6th or 7th inning. We're going to have him pitch. And he struck out 2 guys. It was awesome. Dave Parker strikes out Greg Luzinski and then whoever was hitting after Luzinski. And that's completely unrealistic, but you never know. And that is more believable than what's going on with Clemens. So for me, I had more fun in that 11-1 game, which I think finished up like 12-3 or something like that, because Parker eventually got hit for a couple of doubles. I had more fun with that crazy game, which was completely unrealistic if you think about it, because how good the Pirates were and how bad the Phillies were. But it's one of those days. It's just kind of it happens. It's a blue moon type of game. That's fun. And the Clemens thing was just too many blue moons in a row, if you follow any of that. And Rob says, see, the fun should be a byproduct of play, not the only purpose of playing. Otherwise, we'd all pitch games after our team loses, assuming the game model is accurate. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's about, there's many reasons we play. And see, Jeff says, it's like a relationship. If you're not happy and the two of you aren't having fun anymore, it's probably time to move on and find someone or something else who does make you happy. But yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, if every time you had a fight or an argument with your significant other and you broke up, I mean, no one would be together. You know what I mean? You got to take the good with the bad and just try to make sure that you have more good than bad. Again, if you're having more bad than good, then yeah, it's time to move on from whatever you're doing. And I think that maybe that's the way to put it here, Jeff, is that it's not that I want to find something better. It's just that in this project relationship that I had, there's just too much bad and not enough good, or it's enough, too much aggravation and not enough fun. I guess that's the way to put it. So again, that's what I'm saying. If every time I got mad at something because I lost the game and I quit, I wouldn't have a project going here, because I would have quit them all, because nothing ever goes your way 100% of the time. And so that's what I'm trying to sort out of this, is that, am I just mad because my guy's not doing good, or am I mad because he's consistently not doing good and it's just not any fun at all? I guess there's a couple different ways to put that. And Rob says he agrees on Jason on the accuracy. And get my wife off the tabletop. Yeah, it's funny. All I expect from my tabletop sports sims is accuracy. Not perfect, not my team success. Just a good, solid sense that I'm actually seeing Montana on the field. If it isn't the steel curtain, I lose interest, is what he says. And completely agree with Rob. Fun should be the byproduct of the experience. Yeah. Yep. And it can be fun losing. Don't get me wrong. It can be fun losing a game. When I was playing my 78 week 1 Redskins at Patriots. Redskins won that game in real life. I think I was actually at that game, now that I think about it. In my replay, Redskins won again, and it was, Grogan, fourth and whatever it was, incomplete pass. He loses. Redskins get the ball. They sit on it, win the game. I had a lot of fun in that game, even though the Patriots lost, and I want them to go 14-0 in 1978. I know they won't, and they obviously not, but the Patriots lost, and I had fun. I had fun with that. I just wasn't having fun with this Clemens replay. Now, maybe it's because baseball's not my game, and maybe if baseball was my game, I could appreciate it more. Maybe that's another way of looking at this thing here. Whereas, hockey and football are more my games that I like to watch, and I know a lot more about that than I do baseball. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe if I was more prolific in playing baseball games, he would be better. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but I'm just kind of sitting back rolling the dice. And I'm just like, what's going on here? Maybe what I should do is maybe I should try it in season ticket. Maybe I should print out a couple of teams in season ticket and see how it goes in season ticket. And if it's the same way, then I know that, okay, he overachieved so much that they didn't card him that way in any game. But so far, it's just been kind of a dud. But part of me just wants to give up on this project altogether. Part of me is just like, I am tired of it. I wanted to see how many strikeouts he would get. I wanted to see how many home runs he would give up and compare it to real life. And there's no sense even trying to talk about comparing it because it's so far off from what it was in both replays. So, yeah. And let's see over here now. Jeff says, this is why I started small with APBA baseball and doing the playoffs first rather than dive into a regular season. And you want to get some practice and familiarize himself with the game again. Yeah. Well, the APBA basic, that is fun. That's so easy. I picked that up in like 5 minutes and I love it. I do. I was actually I was doing the Sears catalog shopping the other day with APBA baseball season. So I'm like, what? I have 3 or 4 seasons. I got my 78, 79, 80. Those are my favorite 3. I think I have 88. And I'm like, well, what other season would I get that I would really want to play and why? And I couldn't nail one down. There's not another season in the 70s or the 80s. Maybe 2004, so I could see how the Sox would do, but I don't think they'd get by the Yankees. So I would probably frustrate myself if I tried to play that series against the Yankees. So again, if you try to get the 1980 USA Hockey Team a championship, you're probably not going to get it done. So that's why I've never done that, because I know that that's such an underdog story and it's so unexpected and different that that's not really going to happen. So I don't want to frustrate myself. But I would be tempted at some point to try it in APBA or try it in season ticket again, just to see how it starts off. Again, it's be a big investment picking up an APBA season or something like that. But whereas season ticket, I don't know if I have 86 or not. It's not that expensive, actually. So I could probably print out a handful of teams the first 4 or 5 games and just see how Clemens does. And if it goes off the rails, and don't print anymore and just wash that away, And of Dyson Men comes by and he says, I think you can give up on a product once you're out 5 to 10 hours into it. Yeah, there might be something to that. There might be a certain amount of time that you really got to give it. Again, you play one game and you're a half hour into it and you quit, or 2 games, you're an hour into it. Now that's a little much, but 5 to 10 hours, that's a fair amount of time. Now, again, depending on the game, because, 5 to 10 hours in APBA football, that's 2 to 5 games. It's not a lot of games to play in APBA football. So it depends on the game, but I mean, I think you're right. I think there's got to be, if you've put a fair amount of time into something and it's just not working, you're like, look, I've given this the time. So yeah, of Dyson Men, that's a really good point to point out that it might not be how it's going as much as, have you given it a fair shake? Have you given this project a fair shake and you're just like, yeah, this ain't happening? And we've all had that in life with different things. It's like, this is just not happening. I need to go. I need to stop this. Whatever I'm doing, I got to stop. Maybe it's like a TV series or something like that. It's like, oh, let's start this new TV series. And 2 or 3 episodes in, and you're just like, this is going nowhere. I just can't relate to this. And so it's not like you watched one episode and quit. You gave it 2 or 3, maybe even 4 episodes. You're like, okay, at this point, if this series hasn't panned out into something I can enjoy, I need to go start something else, because sometimes those series, and we've all watched them, that the first episode or 2 kind of just sets the tone, so to speak, and it lays out the characters, it builds your foundation, so you know who's who, what their story is, and now they go on this adventure here in the series. So if you give up too soon, the first few are usually boring, but then at some point it has to go somewhere. These people, you either relate to them or you don't, and then so it is almost like a TV series when you're doing a project, whether it's a season project or a player project, whatever it is. Again, if you're doing a full season, that's probably different because you know that it's going to be a wide range of all the different teams. But if you pick one player or one team, and you've got time into it, like Dyson Men said, if you got enough time into it that you feel that you've given this a fair shake, like I feel as though I've given this a try, and it's just not working for me. And again, I kind of reckon it to or liken it to TV shows. I've had so many people, oh, you got to watch this, And it's like, dude, I watched 2 or 3 episodes. I am just not into it. And, it's just not for you. SGG Jamie, by the way, I did read that new journal that you put out there. I was sitting there last night at the rink, and I clicked on the link, and I was skimming through it. Daniel had a really good article. I was reading that, and a few other things I was reading too. So I was reading that last night. 86 Red Sox team is one of those teams that has trouble in replays winning. Okay, well that would make sense then, because they're having problems in my replay. I have an 86 replay going. Clemens is 12-6, 3/4 of the way. He's pitching good, but his team not good enough for a 20-win year. Yeah, he's getting lit up. I don't know what my statistics were, and I hate to open it up here, Craig comes by July 2nd to 7th, 86. Clemens 0-2, 12 innings pitched, 10 hits, 9 ERA. Yep. Yeah, I guess it can happen. Yeah, and Rob says it's about accuracy. And Jay says, but isn't 86 the third baseman miscue in the playoffs? Oh no, that was the first baseman, Buckner. That was Buckner at first base in the World Series that would have ended it, but it went through his legs. So that's what that season was. But it's just the idea that 86 was just such a good year for Clemens, and and like people are saying, you can't. Let me see what he did. Let me go to Baseball Reference. All right, let's go there. I got to log in. I actually subscribe to this because there's so many ads, and I'm on this all the time. I feel I need to support this this website because I'm on it all day for all my projects. All right, so let's go to 86. All right, so the Sox finished 95-66. All right, now let's go to Clemens. Clemens was 24-4. 24-4 with a 2.48. He gave up 21 home runs. He started 33 games. He gave up 21 home runs, 67 base on balls, and he struck out 238 batters. 238, and he was 20-4. I mean, if I go to my 86 game log, so he started off. Let me see. Win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like he went 15 games before 14. He was 14-0 before he finally lost on July 2nd. 14-0. And I got him after 10 games at 6-4 or something like that. It's just so far off. Again, if I played 10 games, if he was 9-1 or 8-2, fine. But when you're 6-4 or 5-5, it's like, man, that is just way off. So he's got 2 starts is nothing. I get it, Dice Meisterman. I also have redefined curtail the product. For example, I may have started intending a mini season where everyone plays 24 games, but made an executive decision to switch to 16 games. Yeah. I've heard of people doing that before. It's like, hey, I get this great idea. We'll do this. And you start playing. It's like, oh, man, this is a lot of games. Let me scale this down so I can just kind of get this done, curtail the season a little bit, and finish it up. Yeah. So I've heard of people doing that. Thomas, try another game. I do not buy other games because I believe in APA. Do 1986 APA season. Puckett 31 home runs. Boggs 357 average. Butler for Cleveland 14 home runs. All players have a bad day. Yeah, I can say I'm tempted. I'm tempted at some point. That might be down the line because I just picked up. I just picked up. I'm not going to say what it is because I'm going to do an unboxing tonight. But I just picked up some things from APA, so I'm not going to order from APA for a while. But so maybe I need to let this product just rest. Maybe try it in season ticket if I have. I think I have 86 season ticket. I think, and then maybe at some point if I get the urge is to grab 86 APA and see what I can do with that. Maybe I do like I said, I love the APA Basic Baseball. I really do like that. I think that really is. I don't want to say it's my favorite baseball game, but I just never have a problem with it. The only thing is it doesn't card everybody. I don't think. Whereas payoff pitch and season ticket, you get everyone. You really do. But the app is just so smooth the way it plays. I really do like it. Let's see here. And of Dyson Men says he wasn't enjoying the game, so he shortened it up. Oh, he said he wasn't enjoying the engine. Okay, so he shortened it up. Yep. Mind you, that WSA was his worst 2-start period. But yes, 2 starts is way too small of a sample size. Yeah, that was his worst 2-start period. Okay, that's what he said. Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm deep into the season, and he is. I hate to even look it up. How bad he is in my replay here, mind you. Oh, we just read that one. Sorry. Rob says bailing early is totally realistic. I turned off Preds Canucks game 2 after the second period. We've all been there. We've all had the TV on a game. I mean, I was at the China Jade, and it was Brady get picked off, and it was, I think it might have been 21-3 at that point, and we all went home. Everybody left to come home, and I had some drinks at that point, and I just went to bed. And then I would wake up, take a pee or whatever, and I looked at my phone. It's like 28-3. It's like, oh, geez, I'm glad I went to bed, And then it's like, oh, they're coming back, and people are like, they might do this. I'm like, what are they doing? And like, oh, wow, now it's a 2-score game. Like, how is it a 2-score game? And then like people are like, wow, it's now to 1. So I get up and I watch the end of it. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I did. I watched them tie it up and then win it in overtime. So yeah, we've all left games. We all have. And Jeff says, I try to have 2 baseball products going at once. And if one team is struggling, the other's doing well, there's a balance. I know a lot of people that do that have a bunch of things going on, like main projects, and just they do it. And then when something happens, if they're not having fun, okay, I'm going to walk away from this because right now it's not fun. And I'm going to go to the other one and pick up on that. So at least I have some fun. And then I'll go back to this one and it should be fun again. Yeah. Yep. That's a good way of doing it too. And let me see, where are we now? And Mike says maybe you need to take a break from APA baseball to focus on other products. Well, I wasn't playing APA baseball. That's the thing. I was playing payoff pitch and with this project. And it's something I hadn't played in a while. It's been sitting here on the table behind APA football because APA football kind of took over. But I kept it there. I kept the 1986 American League there with payoff pitch. So I could jump back at any time and play a game here, a game there. And that's what I did yesterday. I said, okay, push the football aside, pulled out the payoff pitch baseball, and that's what happened. And I was just like, man, it was just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just another thing that happened in this replay, another reason just to not play this. And that's kind of how I felt yesterday. I was just like, this is just another reason to not play this game, this particular project. It's just one thing after another. It just wasn't going well. So it wasn't APA baseball. It really wasn't. It was the payoff pitch. And again, I like payoff pitch. This wasn't going well. Do I try it in another game? I've already tried it in Strat on the PC. It didn't go well. So am I just going to be, wasting my time and money if I were to pick up another game and have 86 and try Clemens? Let me see if I actually let me see if I have 86 in season ticket, because I bought a lot of seasons when they were on sale. So let me go to my season ticket folder, and okay, I do have 86. Okay, so I do have 86 in season ticket, so that's something I could theoretically print out the Red Sox and maybe their first two games, first two opponents, and see how it goes. I think I need to walk away from the product for right now. I just don't want to push myself. But it's someone suggested I try it in Napa Baseball. Maybe I'd have more fun. I have a lot of fun with Napa Baseball. There's no thinking involved. It's just so fun. And Jeff says, give Diamond Mine Baseball a try. I might. I heard some people like that game. It's kind of boring, but it's kind of fun. I will. Thanks for coming by, Jason. And Magus Sport comes by here today. That's similar to how I feel about my shootout hockey project. There are days where I ask myself, why do I keep trudging along with this? And that's the tough thing is, like a game like shootout hockey, I really like shootout hockey. And I did a California Seals replay in the 73-74 season. Now, that's their worst season for the Seals. And I did it for the sole purpose of how would they do? I like shootout hockey. It's probably my favorite of the quicker play games. And after a while, though, the Seals would be up in games, and I'd be like, wow, look at, they're beating the Canadians or they're beating the Rangers. And then they would give up 4 goals in a row and lose. And it was frustrating because I started to feel for these guys. I wanted them to win, but they weren't winning because they were such a bad team. They were so poorly rated. So after a while, I finished the project, but I remember finishing the project like this. Rolling dice, flipping cards, just like, let's get this. Oh, okay, another loss, great. Another loss, great. Another loss, because it was a bad team. And how I like to play the bad teams, but sometimes playing a bad team is frustrating as all heck. And that was one of them. And it was shootout hockey, and I got through it and I finished it. I was like, oh, Jesus, thank good this is over, because it was just a bad project to do. I took a bad team and played it in shootout all 79 games or whatever the schedule was at the time, and I think they lost more. And I think they got them more wins than they did in real life. Because I know PJet did that project too, and he got them more wins than I got. But I didn't. So I got it somewhere between actual and PJet's wins is what I did. But I hear you. Sometimes it just, even when you're playing a game you really like, sometimes it just frustrates the crap out of you. Thomas, I know how you feel. It's not fun. You have a good team, but the dice rolls beat you. Yep. It is. But again, Thomas, I'm feeling bad about quitting. And I did. I quit the project. I am putting 1986 payoff pitch season away, and I'm not going to do that Clemens replay. I may do a World Series replay at some point, but I need to put that away because it's scarred. It's got a black mark on it. It's just too many negative emotions with that. And that's why I put it away at first. I was playing it, wasn't having a lot of fun with the replay, but I was plugging away at it. And then I pulled it out yesterday. I was like, just why? Why am I frustrating myself with this replay? It's not going the way I want. There's no sense comparing what he did, because even if he turned things around now, he's still got so many losses and his ERA is so bad. And, baseball being kind of like the third sport behind football and hockey anyway, it just, the heck with it, And another Thomas here says, I think your reason should be would to see if the 86 Sox win the World Series. Now that I could do, I could just play that series out. Losing to New York 4-3 could be different. You as the manager could make the difference. So I'd have to manage the Mets to get the Red Sox to win. If he's 3-6 on the end, it's time for him to turn it around to see if he does. Could be fun. Yeah, it could be. It could be fun to see if we could have the big turnaround. You're right. And that's why I'm guilty about quitting. Because what if he'd had a great turnaround? What if he wins 10 in a row now? It's like, what a great story that would be. What a great story that would be. But I don't think I'm going to find out because I'm kind of done with it. And Keith says, get better dice. Yeah, well, I need to pull out the football dice that are rolling 66s, right? Because the football dice are magic in my hands. They really are. All right, don't egg them on. Don't egg them on. Tape Saturator comes by. Hi there. Thanks for coming by. Jimmy B. Sometimes our products look good on paper, but in reality, sometimes they don't have enough depth to keep our attention. Yep. Yeah, you could be right. And there was a pretty good, I think was it John Alexander? I think his name is. Did a pretty good video that I watched about, selecting a project, sticking with it. What are some of the things you need to do? Are you playing a full season? What's in that season that's going to keep your attention? Are you doing a team replay or a player replay? And he had some pretty good ideas. And it was the same thing that Jimmy B just said. Sometimes projects look good on paper. Oh, this is going to be great. And then they just don't pan out. And that's where it is. Yeah. Everyone's agreeing over here with Jimmy. Yeah. Let's see. What's been the most frustrating experience you had with football and hockey games? Asked Jeff. That California Seals project with shootout was pretty frustrating because they were just a bad team, and they would be winning games 5-2 in the third and lose. And that was frustrating because, like, oh, I'm going to get them another win. Somehow they squeezed out 5 goals, winning 5-2. And then it's like scoring chance of other team goal, scoring chance other team goal, scoring chance other team goal, scoring chance other team goal, 6-5 loss. That was frustrating just to see that happen over and over and over. But it was supposed to happen because they were a bad team, but still, it didn't lessen the pain any, There was a Hockey Bones game I played, 1992 season. Bruins in Vancouver on the end of the road trip, winning. I think it was 5-2 or 5-1 in the second period, and they lost. And I'm like, wow, what a great road trip this is. They're going to come on this road trip, 3-1, a 4-1, or whatever it was, a 4-0-1. And they're cruising over Vancouver. And then Vancouver just goes on a tear, and everybody and their brothers getting scoring chances and shots that are in range. And the goalie couldn't stop anything, and the Bruins lost. That was a frustrating game. But I could see it happening. In my mind, I could see the Bruins tired at the end of the road trip, and Vancouver, the home team, just putting them away. So that was believable, but that was a frustrating loss. As far as football, I think the only time I've really been frustrated with football is when I played momentum football. That's my favorite of the Downey games. And the Buccaneers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers twice. I've played them twice in momentum football, and the Buccaneers have won twice, and that should not happen. It just shouldn't happen. Not against Pittsburgh. But then again, Greg Barrett was playing Apple football. He's playing 76, and the Baltimore Colts, who I think were the best team, that they gave Tampa the biggest whooping that season, and they barely won. It was like 13-10 or something like that. They barely beat Tampa Bay in Baltimore, I think it was. And I forget where it was, actually. I think it was in Baltimore. But, they should have crushed Tampa Bay like they did in real life. And in his APA game, it was close. So, I mean, I guess anything could happen, even with the worst teams, But so those are my two worst experiences. And they still, I didn't quit. I didn't stop the project by any means after that. It was just kind of, a bump in the road. But, if that kept happening, if I kept playing those Bruins games and they were coughing up 3 or 4 goal leads constantly, yeah, that's put the project away for a while time. That's what it is. Todd says, or do the project where each start use a different game. Yeah. And 86 is free as on NPNG. Interesting. That's an idea to try different. That's why I was going to try it with season ticket, because I have that. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to buy it like I'd have to buy 86 APA. Maybe I could borrow 86 APA from somebody. And that, because something I wouldn't want to have hanging around, but if I could borrow the season, then I could kind of play it and I could send it back to him, So maybe I do that. I'll have to talk to some of my APA friends to see if I could borrow 86. I wouldn't have to buy it, Because the other thing is, I wouldn't mind buying it and supporting APA. It's just, if I play 3 or 4 games and the same thing happens, I'm not going back to it. That's why I wouldn't want to buy it, at least not right now. Don't worry about being a quitter unless you develop that as an ongoing pattern, which he doesn't think that's the case. Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think it is either. I just don't like to walk away from things like that. There's been a couple of products that I started and like 1 or 2 games in, I was like, yeah, this ain't working. No, we're done. I just wasn't enjoying the game engine. I wasn't enjoying the game. I just like, it sounded like a good idea. On paper, it was a fun idea, but in practicality, yeah, and it just never got off the ground. And there's been a lot of things like that I've done. It's like, okay, let's do this. And I start doing it. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of work to set this up to do this project, and I'm just not having fun, so I'm not going to do it. So, and it hasn't been like a frustration of a team or a player not performing. It just was a general, this ain't working. But for the most part, I try to stick it out if I can. Even the super long projects, it's like, yeah, they're on the back burner. I'll pull them out once in a while, play a game here and there, and have some fun with it. But that was one product I thought was doable. I thought the Clemens product was a doable project where, what did he play? Like 25 or 30 games in a regular season. I thought that was a manageable project. But I think maybe I would be better off with APBA Baseball because I can play APBA Baseball really fast. Really fast. Jeff says, I'm going to do 3 seasons with APBA Baseball, 81, 94, and 2020. These are the what-if seasons. Yeah. Oh, my watch is telling me to stand up. I know. I've been chatting too long. I get it. Yeah, the what-if seasons are kind of fun. I thought about 81. I don't have 81, but it would be kind of fun just to play the playoffs, because they have the different playoff format that they did. That might be kind of fun to do. Again, a game like App is so great because it's so fast. It really is. Jeff Edwards says, I will sometimes play the World Series, but I don't expect the results to always turn out the same. The season stats are what intrigue me. I've done some World Series. In fact, I've done some, what was it Pocket? I think it was Pocket Pennant Run that I did the 80 World Series. I think it was Pocket Pennant Run. And I did the 1980 World Series, and it was flip-flopped. It was the Astros going against, it wasn't Phillies Royals. I think it was like Astros Yankees, and the Astros ended up winning it. So that was kind of neat, doing the Final Four, so to speak, and just seeing how that played out. That was kind of neat. And of Dyson, man, I suggest one more try, fast innings baseball. That way, get it done in a few nights and scratch that itch. Well, the reason I'm doing it in a full play game is I want to get his stats. I want to see his strikeouts. I want to see how many home runs he gives up. Things like that. So this is a stat-based replay. It's not just a wins and loss. It is a stat-based thing. What is and I wanted to test some of these game engines against real life. How did he do in my replay versus real life? Just that's what this project was kicking around Clemens in 86 and checking his stats against real life stats. What is my results against his? So it wasn't just the wins and losses. So yeah, I would do fascinating baseball if it was for just for the wins and losses. And he likes Jeff's idea of the what if. Yep. And sweet as Jeff. If I do get 86 for APBA, maybe play Game 6, manage the Red Sox, and see if you can beat the Mets. Well, I would play the whole World Series is what I would do, And Craig says, look at how many runs they scored for him now. Yeah, they did. They scored a ton of runs. Yep. So that's probably why, again, even the best quarterbacks, sometimes their defense won the game for them. So that's a good point that the team scored a lot of runs. Although my recollection, especially in the playoffs with Clemens, is the team never scored runs. I just remember watching so many Clemens games, and Clemens would be pitching his ass off, and it would be 1-0, and then Clemens would come out and they would hit the other team would get 3 runs and score. It's like they never could score runs when Clemens were on the mound. At least that was my recollection of Clemens when I was younger. Is that, man, it's like then the next night they put up 7 or 8. It's like if they could have got Clemens 4, he would have won. But they got 1 run and they would lose 2-1. Come on. And Jeff Edwards, I've always said that stats have to be in the ballpark. Some stats you can't count on. Wins and losses depending on the team. Pitching stats should be in the ballpark. Yeah, that's what I thought. And it's been 2 games now that didn't happen. I'm so intrigued now. I really think that I'm going to probably print out a couple of teams in season ticket from 86. And I'll give that a try. See how that goes. Okay, I want to see how that would go. And that way, I don't have to be that invested into it. So if I just print out 3 or 4 teams and cut the cards out, I could play and see how it goes. And if it starts to go off the rails, then I already own the season. I just put those teams away in the closet, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then that would be it. I wouldn't be buying Napa at this point, Craig also says didn't know if that was 10 games of the season. Admit that's an odd one if he's really that bad. Yeah, I forget what he was in Strat because I think that was on my other computer, so I don't have that season anymore. And I don't think I carried anything over, so I couldn't tell you what it was. I'd have to go look at the video I did because I did a video wrap up of the Clemens replay, and it was just bad. All right, I don't want to look at this, but I will because I'm so mad at it. But I will pull up the stats just to tell you where I am. I'm just gonna wait for Digital Diamond to open now, and I'll tell you where I am with this in Digital Diamond if it ever opens. There we go. It's got to open Steam first. Lovely. All right, so we'll call this up, and I'll tell you what's going on. I will have to rename the season now. I don't want to get rid of it, although I do want to burn it because I'm so mad at it. All right, so let me open 86, and I'll tell you what Clemens' stats were. So if I go into my view players, all right, so I'm going to go into my view players. I got the Red Sox in my pitching stats. Let's go to my win. So Clemens is, well, that's real life. How about replay? Clemens is 6-4. He's given up 6 home runs and how many strikeouts? That's not showing me strikeouts. It's got to be showing strikeouts, no? So he's 6-4. Instead of 10-0, he's 6-4. 3.05 is his ERA. He's completed 4 games out of the 10. It's not showing me strikeouts. That's kind of weird. So anyway, that's what he is. 6-4, 3.05 ERA, 58 hits, 6 home runs. It's weird that it's not showing me strikeouts. Saves, inning pitch, hits, runs, errors. I'm not sure why it doesn't show strikeouts on there, but so that's that. Yeah. So that's where he is. Not real thrilled about that. But I'll wrap this up here. Just kind of come on here yakking. And let me see. APA 86 includes all the players. Okay. 6-4 is not bad. The odds of him going 14-0 is not high. Without that win streak, he isn't going to win 20. Yeah. And Trav comes by. He says he likes Diamond Mine baseball. Nice. And yeah, Jeff makes a good point. I don't think the Mets fans could ever get the results of 69 in a replay. Cubs are stronger that season. So you're right. You're not going to always get what you expect, but you'd like to think you could get close. The example of a TV series is good. We watched something on streaming after 2 episodes. No fun, no more watch. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good analogy too. Is that you're in this for the long haul, and if it doesn't get off the ground either fast enough or if it doesn't capture your attention and you're not enjoying it, then move on to something else. All right, so I might have to like I said, I think what I'm going to do is at some point I'll play a couple of season ticket games and see how that goes. And if that turns out to be okay, then maybe I'll look at over the summer or this fall the APA 76. PJet comes by, his ears must have been ringing. I think I did get the '86 World Series, Thomas. That's in my box behind me. But if I wanted to do the season, I would need everything. Diamond Mine is one of his favorites. Rock solid application, no limited copy protection. The play-by-play is excellent. No animation, no sound in that. I think I've seen people play that. Clemens will be on as. I haven't seen the card, but you have much better results. Oh, he'll be an AXZ. Okay, I see. And Trav likes the tape simulator. Comment about Diamond Mine. And RCA LDW. You don't owe anyone to start a product or finish a product. At the end of the day, it's about fun. Yeah, it is. And I was talking about that. That I don't know it to anyone. I didn't promise anybody anything. No one, paid me to do a project or anything like that. It's supposed to be fun for me, and I get it. But if I'm always going to be quitting projects if it's not going my way, then how do I take the product seriously? And how does anybody else take the product seriously? If I say, hey, guess what? I'm playing, I'm going to play the 19 blah 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 blah, and then it's like, oh, what happened to that product? Oh, I quit because my team wasn't doing good. I mean, sometimes at that point, it's like, well, then I'm not going to follow your project if you keep quitting. I don't want to be that guy. So that's why I feel guilty about pulling the plug on this one. Maybe instead of pulling the plug, I just try a different game. Maybe it's a game that I'm more familiar with, that I have a better time with. Payoff pitch, I do have a love-hate with that. There's times I love that game. There's times I can't stand that game. Sometimes that game flows me. Sometimes it doesn't. That's just me. So maybe, like an APBA baseball flows all the time. That just never lets me down. Season ticket, for the most part, does the same thing. I really kind of enjoy that, Demi comes by 1970 gaming. Tom Seaver and the Mets never had run support, and that's what I'm doing with the 79 Cubs. Yep. The one thing about Digital Diamond Baseball is that I can start a product, take a break, and pick it back up. He has 78 going with payoff pitch, 76 with APBA, and 74 and 75 with 75 season ticket, 74 Stratomatic. Yeah. Oh, isn't it so good, that Digital Diamond? Oh, he's on tomorrow night, by the way. 8:00 Boston time here on YouTube. If you want to talk some Digital Diamond with Mark, we're going to talk about 12 and what's new in it and the whole bit. And I've got oh my gosh, I got a whole list of questions here. You can see my questions here. These are all questions that I have for Mark. We're going to talk about his new stuff, and I just got a whole bunch of questions for him about, how the game works and things in the game and the whole bit. I love it. That got me playing a lot more baseball than I ever did. And I know that strat and replay, you can put in the stats too, but I just find they work so good in Digital Diamond. I just prefer it. And numbers using payoff pitch seem way off at the beginning, but now at the 60 game mark, they're very close. So maybe if I, again, maybe if I did that, maybe if I kept going, the ship would right a little bit. But it just, boy, I tell you, 6 and 4 out of the gate, just kind of and when I got hammered last night, I was like, oh, here we go again. I don't even know if he got the loss. Okay, I don't remember if he got the loss because I took him out so fast, and then the game ended up like 17-12. It was a nutty game when I simmed it. I think it was like 12-7 or something, like when I left in the third. I just simmed the game and it ended up being 17-12 or something. It was a nutty game that it was anyway. What about revising the product? Philip says, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'm going to try it in a different engine, a game that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Like I say, I'm familiar with payoff pitch and I like it, but I do have a hard time with it sometimes because I overthink like what I want to do. And I never quite, I thought I had it nailed down what I wanted to do on the base paths, but now I'm not sure. So I want to find a game that just, I don't have to think about that. And I think APBA and season ticket might be the way to go. Ron, thanks for coming by. And so I'm going to wrap this up here, folks. Yeah. So I just, what are your thoughts? Have you ever pulled the plug on a project and then felt guilty about it? Is it rare for you to pull the plug on a project, or is it common? It's just, do you just play and, boy, if it ain't fun, I'm done. I'm going to move on to something else. How much patience do you have with projects and things like that? So I guess that's kind of where I am, as I feel a little bit guilty about it. that and I don't like to quit, and I don't like to give up on things, and I like to soldier through. But I will admit, this is one that I was fighting for a long time. I would play a game and I would fight it, and then I'd be done. And I'd play a game and I'd fight it, and then I'd play a couple games and it'd be kind of fun. But then I would go back to, I just kept, this is one product I just kept fighting. I did, even in Strat, I kind of just fought the product. So I hate to pull it out with season ticket or app and then fight it again. That's the thing. I just don't want to keep fighting the Clemens project. I like Clemens. He was great in Boston. This was his best year, and it's not happening. So anyway, so Jeff says, if a product's no fun, give it up. With a Clemens product, you just don't have that many games to do. Go for it and finish it. Well, I tried to, I'm just not enjoying it. And so I think I'm going to put it away. Maybe I'll take it out and season ticket. Maybe if that goes a little bit better, then maybe this summer or fall, maybe I grab 86 for APA baseball. Or again, like maybe someone has 86 and I could borrow it and just try it, see how it goes. And if it's going better, then maybe I would buy it. Who knows? So many different ways to do it here. And Phillips had to do that with his Quest for 61. He had to use the Express instead of History Maker Baseball because it was taking too long. Yep, I agree. And sometimes we go along. Hey, this is great for a while, and it's like, okay, I need the speed. I need to get this done. I get it. But this is when I wanted stats. I wanted to go in Digital Diamond and keep my stats. So when I was done, I could say, here's my stats and here's the real stats. Let's see how it looks. And there's no sense right now because it's so far off. But again, you never know. He could go on a 10-game win streak. But it's just, do I want to keep? I got a bad attitude right now for this product. It's just not a good attitude. Do I want to go into it like this? Do I want to play this game just to get through it, or do I want to go play something fun? I think that's what it was. So anyway, so let me know your thoughts on pulling the plug on a project. So thanks for coming by. And also, Trav, yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know if it's a fun conversation because I gave up on something, and I and it's bugging me enough to come on and talk for a little over an hour to you guys about talking me off the ledge. Why do I feel bad about quitting a project? And it's something I don't think I really streamed too much of anyway, and so I don't think anybody was expecting me to talk about it. But I every now and then I play a game and talk about it on the show or whatever. But yeah, I think it's just time to let that sit. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Pulling a plug on a project. I'm Dave. Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight with the unboxing around 11:30 Boston time, as soon as I get home from work. And I want to show you what I got from my kind of like my belated birthday present from Jucket, and a little bonus from work thrown in there as well. So we'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.